Hello, everybody, and welcome back to episode number 4 here in the Happy Abode. I am really excited today because I finally fixed something that has been plaguing me for months. When I switched to my new setup with my gaming PC and my recording slash streaming PC, capture card setup, there's always like this weird tint on the screen that I've tried adjusting in all kinds of different ways, and I thought it was something wrong with the capture card. And I kind of like almost don't even want to admit what the actual problem was because it's so simple and I should have thought of it long ago. But in Windows 11, there is a setting for night light, which dims the screen to make it so that it's not as harsh on your eyes. And I had it turned on. I didn't know it existed. And so it was like dimming it down. And then when it went through the capture card, it got even worse for the recording. I fixed it. So now everything looks much better. I'm gonna start today off checking out some blueprints. I have a couple of them. Oh, got a new painting. Excellent. And a new socks. I think the painting is the first one of those that I've gotten. That's pretty cool. We're finishing up exactly we're starting off exactly where we finished up. I'm building this liquid storage. And I don't remember exactly how much we went over this, but we're going to use some new machines here in this setup. And I'm going to specifically try to do all my liquid storage using just like regular buildings, no exploits with infinite storage, because I want to just see how I can make things work and kind of figure it out. The advantage to this system is we have the bottle filler and we're going to have the bottle drainer. And so instead of keeping our liquids stored in the world, basically we'll pump them up either from where they are on the map right now or from the sources when we get to that point, and we'll pump them into reservoirs. And then once they're in the reservoirs and they're in the pipes, they'll always stay in the pipes until I empty them into the world. So the bottle filler will mean duplicates come over and grab a bottle of it, take it where we need them to go. The drainer means that if we mop it up, we can put it right back into the storage system. It'll be great. We can patch off a line to run a pipe if we need it to go somewhere, and we won't ever have to use electricity to run it anywhere because it'll already be in storage, and we can just run it where we need it to go. So that's kind of the plan. I have this one set up for polluted water right now because I wanted somewhere for our sewer line from our bathroom to go, and that way I can stop dumping that out into this area. And so we're going to get this finished up. We're going to get the fluid water going in there, and then I'm going to do the same for water and for brine. And that means we're going to have to run a pump up here with some kind of filter to filter all this out to get it collected. And the main reason I want to do that right away is because I want to get into doing our oxygen generation, which is going to use a Hydra system, because I've never really used them before, and I want to try something new. So that's going to require us to have brine and water available for our duplicants to use. So I need to get some of this pumped up into some kind of storage where I can access it. I could just put a pitcher pump up here, and I might do that at the outset, because it'll be a lot to run piping all the way up here. And so actually, I think I might just do that now. So we'll just put a pitcher pump here, so that we're going to be able to come in and grab some brine just for our uses. I'm gonna cut a path through here to make it a little easier. The other thing I want to do before I get too far with this is I'm going to put in a wall here. I'm going to bring it the whole way up. And what I'm going to do for that is put in a door, and that way I can control who goes in here, because I do not want our bionic duplicates going up in here and doing any work up here, because it leads to lots of stress because they get short-circuited in the water. So that's the plan. We're going to get that built up, and then we're going to put in an oxygen system probably down here, where we are going to use a Hydra system, which is basically just a flooded electrolyzer instead of using the old style SPOM that I've always used. It's kind of trading off one infinite storage for another, because the Hydra uses some infinite storage tricks but I'm going to set it up in such a way that it doesn't exploit that infinite storage, because I want to kind of keep it in a vanilla kind of way. So we'll get everything set up, and I'll show you exactly what I mean once we have the building started. I've gotten our ladders and our pitcher pump in place, so now our duplicates can come in here. They can get across without getting their feet wet or getting into the brine too much, since I don't have Atmos suits yet. And that way they're able to come over here and they'll be able to grab brine or polluted water out of here if we need it. Soon we'll get in here and pump it, but I want to get, I just wanted to have access to it. Another thing I noticed is, let me see if I can find one of them to show you. Where are my bionic duplicates? Nisbet's a good one. No, Nisbet's not a good one. Just the regular. Here's Chip. Chip has 184 rads. Sonyar has 251. All the bionic duplicates, I noticed that their radiation was getting higher, and then I realized it's because early on when I needed somewhere to put the shine nymphs, I just threw them in here. Well, they were giving off a lot of radiation while they were in here defragging, and it was just building up over time. So I got rid of the shine nymphs in there. There's some eggs that'll hatch, and I'll get rid of them again too. I don't need them for any reason. I just needed somewhere for them to go where they weren't going to keep our other duplicates awake. And so now their radiation will go back down to normal slowly, and it'll be fine. I want to put in our system down here. I realized I hadn't done the electrolyzer research, and I did that now. So what we're going to do is just kind of plan this out here together. And so I'm going to put in like a floor level here. What we're going to have is we'll have an electrolyzer like this, and then we're going to have airflow tiles along this side of it. And we're going to have multiples, so that's why I have it like this. And then I'm going to have an airflow tile here that does the same thing. And so let's leave it off just up to here for now. I want to get in here so I can put in some fluid. And so the idea is when you flood an electrolyzer in the right way, you get an electrolyzer that outputs its gas right here. And if there's liquid in that tile, it has nowhere to go. So it puts it into either this tile or this tile. Well, it puts it into any of the tiles around it. But since this tile and this tile and this tile are going to be blocked by water, then what's going to be left is any tiles over here and this one here. And this will have a solid tile. So it's going to check this tile and this tile, see if there's a matching gas. And if there is, it's going to put the gas into that square so as to not break anything. What that means is, if we create a room over here on this side that is oxygen, and we put a room on this side that is hydrogen, and we keep it pressurized, anytime we put water into the electrolyzer, hydrogen will come over here, oxygen will come over here, and we won't have to do any filtering, using any kind of filtering. It'll automatically filter itself. And then we can use pumps in here to pump the hydrogen into hydrogen generators. And the oxygen we can either just release into the base, or we can pump it into the base. I'm going to set it up with a sealed room so we can pump it, because I also want to pump it into Atmos suits soon. And so what we're going to do is put a room around here. And we're just going to start with the bottom layer of it, like I said. And we're going to have to get this room to be cleaned out so that it's just oxygen in it. And then over here we'll have to vacuum it out so there's nothing in it. And we'll get the hydrogen into this side of the system. That's our goal. So we want to put in a bottle emptier here. That way when they get this built, I can put down a layer of brine, and then I'll put a layer of water on top of it. And then we'll continue building upwards and make more of these. I think that when these pump out oxygen, each one is going to pump out 888 grams per second. And I have 20 duplicates that are consuming about 20 K of, or I'm sorry, about 2K of oxygen per second. And so if I have 3 of these, it'll be more than I need. But I think I want to leave some building for it. So I might design this with 4 electrolyzers to start out. Probably going to be the safest bet. And dig this in case they get stuck underneath. So I'll put one here and then I'll put one here, and we'll have another side that's oxygen over here that'll connect up to this room. And then I guess what we'll have to do is put the hydrogen to go this way, and we'll put the hydrogen room below it. And that'll make sense. That'll work out pretty good. So we just need to get this built, get the rooms flooded, get everything put into place, and then we can work on getting the gases just how we want them. So basically there'll be one there, and just to lay this out to show you, for this side of it, the hydrogen will be here, and so when we have this one will be pumping hydrogen, it'll find hydrogen here, and so we'll have this side with pressurized oxygen. That way, that oxygen can feed into here, and that's how it'll work. So we're going to need a pitcher pump or bottle emptier, I mean, on this side as well. Oops, I put that too high. Plumbing, bottle emptier. Seems to be worse whenever I'm trying to do it on camera. We'll put it like that. Let's put a ladder down over on this side just so that we can make sure we can get across to do our work. And I'm going to let them go ahead and get this all built. We'll get the fluids in, we'll build the second layer up, and then it'll be a matter of putting in some pumps and pumping the gases out so we can prime the system. And when we're done, this will be a self-powered system, and we should get excess hydrogen that we can send out to keep our system, or keep our base running a little bit. But the idea is I want to get a bunch of hydrogen to burn, because the achievement I'm working on next is our super sustainable achievement. The last of our limited ones. So when we burn off 200,000 more kilojoules of power, we'll be free to build whatever kind of power system we want. I did some building off camera, mostly because I was just trying to figure everything out, and I'm going to explain to you exactly how this is working. I'm not sure if this is going to work. I've never actually built one of these. I think, in principle, it should work. But basically, I have this set up with different channels for the gas, and I'm just finishing getting carbon dioxide out of this room here. I did have some issues with radiation vomiting. I forgot to get rid of those other shine nymphs when they hatched, and so still trying to get down under 100 with them. I should probably just put it in an apothecary and make some radiation pills, but it'll fix itself. So basically, I'm waiting for the carbon dioxide here to come out. So if we look at the gas overlay, we're down into the low gram range. It won't take too much longer to get this room emptied out. And I'm building a power system over here so that once we are ready to go, this will work. So the idea is these electrolyzers will all put their gas in the tile right here in the top left corner. And then when they have gas there, it will try to find somewhere else to go because there's liquid there. If we already have oxygen on this line, which goes up and all the way around to this side, oxygen will go there. And then this will have filled with hydrogen, and so hydrogen will jump from here to there, from here to there, from here to here to here, and from here to here. So the problem is I don't have any hydrogen to prime this with. And also, I should have put in a vent right here. What I should do, this is going to take a little while longer to do. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in a vent here. I'm trying to think of the easiest way I could do this. So if I put in, I do this, I could put some water here and maybe make it so I can get in there without letting any gases in. That's probably what I should do. And then I can get in and put this in, and then we'll put a pump up here and just grab some hydrogen to prime this section with hydrogen. I think that'll probably be the best way to do things. While we're doing that, let's get this all set up. We have automation here. We're going to make it so that this only runs when we need the power. This is going to connect up so that it runs power to here, and then I'll have some more space to add in some more power if we have enough power to run it. I put in 5 just because I wanted to see what the design kind of looked like. I may shift this down to make it look a little better or something in the future. Still have a problem. Problem with these guys is that they don't lose their radiation as fast because they don't go to the bathroom every day, which is the easiest way for them to lose radiation. But that's all right. I'm also having to manually take out some of these stone hatchlings because we haven't quite hit the tipping point where we're having them hatch down here. There's things to deal with. So, all right, I'm going to get this run up so I can get hydrogen being pumped into here so I can prime it. Actually, it might be easier to get it from over here. And then we'll get this room filled with hydrogen. The idea is we don't want to leave it to chance, because if this is an empty room and this is an empty room and I run this, it might put the hydrogen in here. It might put the hydrogen in this room. And I definitely want the hydrogen in this room. So I want to get some hydrogen primed into there, which will be fine. If I get this put in and I put in a gas pipe behind it, I can connect it up and get it so that we have some hydrogen flowing in there and fill the room up with hydrogen before we get started. And I can do that just by getting into here and vacuuming up some of the hydrogen that's in here. So yeah, that won't be too big of a problem. And like I said, we still need time to get this carbon dioxide out of here because we're still at the milligram range. We have a ways to go before that room is empty, and we want all that carbon dioxide out of there before we fire this system up. Well, we got in here and we got the vent put in, and I have some new piping I'm running to get hydrogen over here. Unfortunately, when I did that, I let some polluted oxygen in, which is fine. We'll just have to let this run until this gets emptied. This one still needs to get emptied as well. So, we're slowly getting it fixed. A little bit of problems here and there that we just have to fix. I have some ladders up here so we can get this built in here too. Eventually this will be the line that runs up to send hydrogen up here once we have the system finished. But basically we have this line running back this way, and it's going to go to this gas pump. I'm going to need to get some power that connects to here, and I am dangerously overloading our power grid. But that's okay. I can disconnect a few things just to get this up and running. When it's done, this will be self-sufficient. It will power itself. Oh, I have overloading going on in here. That's going to be an issue. We'll have to go in there and fix that at some point. But as long as it doesn't break, we'll be okay for now. Also, I have 4 sets of pumps in here, and I only have this one connected. That's because eventually, when we get this enough power, this system is going to produce 888 times 4, so that's 3,500 grams per second, and each one of these takes out 500, so we'll have 4 lines running. We really would be okay with 7 of these pumps, but basically we'll have it set so that this one will run out 1 line, each one is 1 line, because these do 500, and then 2 of them can fill up a gas line. And so that way, when we have this producing at full capacity, we'll be able to pull that oxygen out, send it where we need it to go. No problems at all. And the same thing down here. I have 2 in here. So that, I really could have just done the 1, now that I think about it. There's only going to be 112 grams per second coming from each of these, so at full capacity, this is going to run out 448. So 1 pump would do it, but I put in 2 because that'll be a full line. And then if this gets over condensed, then we can move it out faster. Pretty easy. We'll have some more stuff we need to do with it to get it a little more advanced as we go. But for now, it's going to do the job. I'm also researching right now to get to the gas reservoir. I'm just going to throw one down here. And this filter is going to just let the hydrogen in, and then the chlorine that's going to come from in this room will get put into the reservoir, and that way we have it for later. I want to use that chlorine to set up a system for cleaning out the germs in here, which for now we're just not dealing with, which is fine. So we got to get this finished built, we got to get these rooms vacuumed out, and then we can connect everything up to prime the hydrogen room. And then once this is primed and we have this automation set up, we can turn these on, they'll start producing oxygen and hydrogen, and then we can make this self-powered so we can take it off the power grid and hopefully get some extra power out of it to get us towards that super sustainable even faster. While we're here, might as well grab our new blueprint for the day. Basic khaki pants. Cool, I guess. So yeah, just a little bit more to do. Took some doing, but we got it here. We have hydrogen in this room. We still have a little bit flowing in, and mostly we're at chlorine now. I think that we've actually gotten almost all the hydrogen out of there. So this room is primed and ready to go. We have the carbon dioxide is almost all completely gone. I'm just waiting for these last few micrograms to dissipate. And that means we'll be able to turn on the flow of water. So all I need to do that is connect this. So we're good now. I am going to do a quick save. Just to make sure, in case something's messed up, I can roll it back a little bit, because I do not want to have to rebuild that whole thing. It was kind of a pain. Okay, so we're going to do this slow. So we have vacuum here, hydrogen here, everything here is set. So when we put water in, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do one, because I don't want to be using too much power and have everything break. Okay, so there we go. We have water flowing in now. Once that gets to here, this will start making gas, and if everything is working the way I expect it to, the gas will appear here, the hydrogen will need a place to go, and it'll see this hydrogen here, and it'll go in, and oxygen should go here, because it's going to try to make them both at the same time. Perfect. So the oxygen went over here, hydrogen is going up here, so I'm going to cut this off temporarily, because I just want to get this room primed up. And so what we're going to do next, now this is going to keep pumping the hydrogen in, which is fine. Next thing we want to do is connect up this one. So now we can see, is this one working the same way? Yeah, so the oxygen's going in here, hydrogen's going here. And the pressures won't matter because they need somewhere to go, so this can overpressurize, and because it's airflow tiles, it's not going to cause any problems. It'll push the hydrogen down here, it'll push the oxygen out here. And so we'll just keep on making hydrogen and oxygen as long as water's flowing in. So that's good. The next thing for us to do is, let's remove this vent. And once this vent is gone, we can connect up the hydrogen from here to go out. What I want to do is set this so that this is above 1,500 grams. That way I keep this room pressurized with hydrogen so that we never completely vacuum it out. Because if we vacuum it out, then we're going to have serious problems. Oh, I shouldn't have turned that on until this was connected. Oops. Well, we're going to have a little bit of hydrogen out here in this room. It's not going to be a big problem. We'll fix that later. That's gone, so now we can connect this here and this here, which means the extra hydrogen will go up here. And now I can take this power line, I can connect it here, and I can disconnect this from here, which means now this hydrogen that's going out here will power this battery. This battery will power the electrolyzers, and that will keep us pumping out. Now, we still have these pumps that are connected to the main power grid over there, but that means all of this generation here is working off of the grid itself. So let's run these over here. That'll make it so we're producing even more hydrogen and oxygen. This room should be getting pressurized. I want to send this out if it's above 20,000. Do that. That way nothing will go. We can connect this up for now. And this will pressurize for a little while, which is fine. I just want to get the hydrogen running. And then also I want to reconnect this so that we have both of these pumps running. So now, whenever we have more than 1,500 grams of hydrogen, it'll pump out here. And these will only run if the battery needs it to. Oh, I think I don't have I need to connect this to here. And that'll be fine. So then these will only run when we need power. The power will continually power these. We'll keep producing hydrogen. We'll keep producing oxygen. Okay, so everything's working. I think what I'm going to do is let's reconnect this to here. And then let's set this the same way. This is going to be if this goes above 1500. Because I just want to make sure this room keeps some pressure. Because I don't want to be causing problems where we run out of oxygen in here and then it goes out. So this is going to be producing oxygen really fast, which means now I can remove these. One, two, three, and 4 there. Which means now all the oxygen is going to be, all the oxygen things here are going to be removed. And what we'll do is we'll use that power when we remove those from the grid to power these. And we're going to just be pumping oxygen out like crazy right here. And eventually we'll have to run lines to where we need it to go. But that will keep us filled up on oxygen. Take the food because I don't want to be bringing any duplicates in right now. Okay, cool. So this is working. So this is going to power up. It's going to keep this running. This will run pretty constantly because as soon as this runs out to 10%, these will kick back on and power it right back up. Beautiful. Exactly what we wanted. And then these will run as long as we need oxygen in the base. And that's all we'll do for now. Eventually we'll run lines, like I said, and I want to use this to set up an atmosuit dock system, which we can do because we have thimble reed from all of these in here that have been growing. And we can also take this polluted water and set up a Hydra plant for it because we've already finished locavore, which means we are allowed to put in farm plots. So if we put in a hydroponic farm, and have it use the polluted water that comes off of our bathroom and automatically make thimbleweed, that means we'll have plenty of thimbleweed to set up an atmosuit dock. So that's great. This worked out exactly how I wanted it to. And this is a neat system. This is very expandable. I've seen a lot of designs where people do this with 9 of them, specifically because that means you can use an entire line of water almost. And it is kind of, you could consider this a little bit exploity because this will continue to produce and store hydrogen and oxygen. But I'm going to let that be an okay thing because I just don't want to have to worry about the routing. We could, if you wanted to, put in some automation to make it so that these shut off when these overpressurize based on the event kind of stuff, so that way you wouldn't ever be overpressurizing rooms. But I think I just want to make sure I'm always going to have oxygen. And this won't ever overpressurize out here because these vents won't allow us to go past 2 kilograms. But so it'll keep this room nicely filled up with 2 kilograms. And it's not going to run all of them right now because these are all right next to each other. But you can see, based on, let's look at this one, see how dense the oxygen is in here. It is definitely filling oxygen up in the rooms. So, doing exactly what I was hoping for it to do. It's working great. Surprisingly, the first time I built it and figured it out, worked great. So, I'm starting to understand why so many people like the Hydra systems. They are pretty fancy. So we'll probably do some more with that, and maybe come up with some even better systems. But this is all pretty much based right off of information on the wiki of all you need to know. You can design this however you want, but you need to know that the gases go into this tile. You make it so that each tile has 100 grams of, or kilograms of fluid, and you want it to be 2 different fluids so that it'll stack up, and that'll keep the electrolyzer from stopping because it won't be flooded, but it will make it so that this tile can't hold the gas, so the gas has to find somewhere to go. And then it's just a matter of making sure that you have hydrogen in one spot and oxygen in another spot from it, and the rest is just figuring out how you want to lay it out, and you can do it any way you want. Another with the way I was thinking you could do it is you could just set up one of these in different corners of a base so that you would have, instead of running oxygen around, you would run water to it, and you could have one hydrogen generator connected to each of these to power it. A lot of different ways you could do it, and a lot of different... Another tool in our tool belt, which is really nice. So this will keep us filled with oxygen. We have food that is automatically being generated here, and we have all of our other basic needs are met. We still have some more fancy things to do. I want to get a nature reserve in. I want to get a Great Hall in to help with morale, and then it's a matter of getting Atmos suits so that we can start exploring out through the rest of this and other asteroids to come. So I hope you enjoyed watching, and we will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.